Good evening. It's your
Oi.
Cockney geek. No, it's not your Cockney geezer. You have to put up with us two this week. It's me, Andy, and Perpetual Comics. And introduce yourself, Tom.
I am Tom, and I'm from Not Quite Mint.
Not quite mint.
What's your name? Where'd you come from?
I'm Tom PT. Tom PT as
and
well.
Tom PT, yes.
I did see, Tom, that you were doing your thing on the old Instagram, like doing the old videos and stuff like that. I'm sure you got like 10 million followers after that.
Well, I tried, mate. I almost posted a picture of myself on my PT thing, being like, "The missus wants me to do OnlyFans. What's the crack? What does everyone think?"
That's the thing, though. You joke about OnlyFans, but I swear, honestly, like it could at least pay for StreamYard every month. That's the way.
Well, yeah, I mean that would be a good start, wouldn't it?
You know, 20 quid here or there would be good. But no, guys, Charlie can't make it this week. He is stuck in work, so you have myself and Tom this week. But don't let that put you off, guys. Some would say it's probably going to be an improvement. Tom, maybe, yeah.
Some might say it might even be better.
But listen, you can vote with your thumbs up. Or wait to see all the thumbs down that we get in this show because of that. Well, yeah. But no, I'm looking forward to the show. We've got our usual killer covers. We've got a usual review. We're going to be reviewing Swan Song issue number 1, so stay tuned for that. And then Tom has a fantastic character showcase or a
DELL'OTTO to talk about.
I like that, the DELL'OTTO to talk about. So I've seen a sneak peek of the slides that you've done, and they're absolutely superb. So I would highly recommend, guys, that you stay tuned for that. One thing I'm going to ask everybody that's watching: could you just stop and hit that thumbs up? That would be amazing, because apparently that does something to the algorithm and it puts it out to the ether. And if you haven't already subscribed, please make sure that you do so. That would be much appreciated. Okay, so where are we going to start? Well, we'll have a wee look and see who's in the chat. Let's have a wee sneak peek.
Let's have a wee sneak peek.
A wee peek, sneak peek. We have the main man, Fuzzy Dunlop. It's not a YouTube streaming list. The Fuzzmeister is gracing us with his presence. So evening all, Thursday again. Let's have it. You know it. We have Sonic's Comics. How's it going, my friend? Thank you for joining. Even lads, I made it on time this week. We appreciate you, brother. Make sure you hit that thumbs up and share. Everybody share the stream to get more viewers, because that makes us feel popular. Isn't that right, Tom? Makes us feel
popular. Absolutely. Makes us feel loved, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
And who doesn't want to be loved?
Absolutely. That sounds like a song. Who doesn't? No. Bat Dan Dixon is... Oh, no, wait a minute. Sorry. Bat Dan is in the house. Is this like an alter ego that we've got going here? I'm not too sure. Howdy Killers, how's it going? Who's this? Who's this guy? Stream Elements. I hope he's subscribed and has hit that thumbs up.
The most consistent person every week, other than Connie.
Absolutely, you're right. You've got this guy. Don't know who he is. We've got our good friend Sean in the house. Evening peeps. Thanks for joining, brother. We have Mr. GP Venom in the house. Thank you for joining. Make sure that you go subscribe to GP Venom. He done a fantastic review of Philadelphia on Tuesday with Triple G and the rest of the crew. So make sure you go check that out. And we have Martin Simcox. Evening, gents. Are you both well? No blank cover man tonight. No, indeed. We sacked him. No more Charlie. It's just me and Tom going forward.
It's just the comic show from now on. The killer is gone.
Yeah, indeed. Absolutely. This is it. We've got Leon Russell, who's joined us. Evening all. Thank you so much for joining. We really appreciate you. That is everybody at the moment. If I have missed anybody, let me know. I will get you. I'm multitasking, because normally I just sit back and let Charlie do all this. Me and Tom just kind of sit here and just chill and stuff. But I'm under exactly. I'm under pressure now to make sure that I press the right buttons. So what do we normally do first? Killer covers? Shall we
always covers, mate. Always at the business end. We always start at the business end.
Let's do it. Killer covers.
I always feel like I'm stuck in an elevator with that music.
Yeah. And then boop, here's your killer covers.
Here's your killer covers.
Do you think there's going to be the odd sexy woman cover? Because it seems to be a sort of a general theme with our killer covers, that we've got at
Think
least one
so.
sexy woman. Yeah.
I
Shall
think there's
we?
probably
Shall
going to
we
be at least one.
at least one. So let's have a look. These are the killer covers for yesterday's new comic book day. That was the 12th of July. I had to think there. So first up, we have Night Terrors issue number 1. Was this yours, Tom?
It was, mate. Yeah, cover D by Ivan Ray. I was going to say Ian, then his name's not Ian. Ivan Reyes, and this is the Darkest Hour neon ink variant. And I'm pretty sure I read earlier today that this is a glow in the dark bad boy. So the green glows in the dark. So why would you not pick this?
It is very striking, and it would be a shame if it wasn't a glow in the dark. To be honest with you,
Yeah, definitely.
was that the reason you picked it, glow in the dark, or was there any particular reason?
No, do you know what? Do you know what caught my like I said every week? If I see a comic and it catches my eye, that's why I'm going to pick it as a cover. This one caught my eye because of the intense colors, like the vivid colors, like the vivid green, the vivid blue, the vivid purple, the pink. Just really caught my eye. And then I noticed the very, very vivid but very minute amount of orange that's in there as well. And it just literally just gave me this kind of almost color headache. I was like, oh my god, it's awesome. I need to pick this cover. And I think I picked it because it's different. I've never seen anything like it before. I'm not likely to see anything like it again because I'm pretty sure everyone's probably looked at it, got a migraine, and thought, yeah, no thanks. But yeah, I thought it would be quite a good cover to bring to the Killer Comic Show this week and hopefully win me cover of the week.
Something new at least. It gives me sort of acid trip vibes, you know.
Yes.
You know, it gives me that sort of vibe. Or you know when the guys have printed T-shirts, you know, and they do the one swipe of color, and then they do another one, they do another swipe of color. It gives me that sort of feel. Night Terrors issue number 1. I don't know if I read that this week. Did you read that at all? Was it any good? Do you know?
I did not, mate. There was only one book I managed to get around to reading purely for this week, and that was Flish Fly. So I'm really hoping we get a chance to review it next week. But we'll talk about that later.
Absolutely. Interestingly enough, GP is saying here that he read Fish Flies last night, and it's amazing. Tom, you were saying good things about it as well, and I believe that is one of our sneak peeks. So that'll be one of the ones the guys will be able to vote for. So fingers crossed we get that one. So guys, that's Night Terrors issue number 1, the Ivan Arias cover. Next up is
here we go. You said there'd be one sexy lady.
Ding, ding, ding. We have the X-Men issue number 101. I really am predictable. This is the Nathan Zerde variant B facsimile edition for X-Men 101. I do know that whenever we put this up on Instagram and Twitter, Nathan liked it and give the fire emojis and stuff like that. So Nathan, I hope you're voting for me this week. That's all I can say. Vote for your own cover.
Does that count as like an Uber? But like, say for instance, like we do normal votes. If a celebrity or like an artist comes in and votes for it, would you get like Uber bumped up the list? Like, does that count as like 5 votes?
I think it's at least times 10 votes. If
do you reckon?
I don't think there's like a direct rule. To be fair, I don't think any creators or famous people have ever watched this show. But
I watched the show.
Are you? Wait a minute. Hold on. Are you hungry? What are you having, Tom?
Oh, sorry, mate. Something? No, sorry, mate. It's my
that looks healthy.
My little bowl of fruit and yogurt.
Nice.
I just saw it on the side. I was like, I quite fancy a bit of that now.
Was it like the bombastic side eye? You were like, oh, I can't resist that. Yeah. See, you have that, and I've got like a chicken curry and fried rice sitting next to me. That I'm only joking.
Oh my god, that'd be amazing. We just sit here eating our dinner.
See, guys, this is what happens when Charlie's not running the ship. We just like talk about fruit bowls and Chinese curries.
The loons are running the asylum.
It really is. So back to the point in question. This is the fantastic X-Men 101 Nathan Zerde cover. I thought this was stunning. I think Nathan's artwork is absolutely fantastic. And the thing that caught my eye about this book was you can see that the outline of the white around her hair. And I just thought, that it makes this pop. It makes it different. It makes it just a stunning cover. I got Jason JATC vibes about this one as well. The kind of a negative variant cover vibe about it. But for me, I thought this was a smashing cover. What did you think?
So I like it. I
But
think it's really well done. I think the fire at the background is great. I love that she's at the forefront, and I like the glow. The only issue I've got with it is when you take a good look at the glow, it almost looks like she's been put on after. It's almost like she's not quite there. Like it's almost
it's
like she's an
almost
extra.
it's an AI generated background. If you get that
Yeah.
vibe about it, yeah,
It's almost like, you know, when you were a kid and you used to get stickers that had like
yeah.
little white outlines and you'd stick them to
Yeah.
anything,
You peel them off, yeah,
peel
yeah.
them off and just slap them to stuff. That's kind of what this is giving me. However, I think the artwork is stunning. I think the colors are awesome. I really like the asymmetrical positioning as well
Oh,
of the body. I think it works quite well.
I
I
love
think
the
the
way you're
problem,
doing the
yeah,
asymmetrical
the
thing.
asymmetrical. I'm trying to sound smart, like, so anyone that's watching who's like, I need a personal trainer. This guy's really smart.
Do you know, I need a personal trainer who can say the word asymmetrical.
Asymmetrical, yeah. Can't spell it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
You and everybody else in the chat, and myself,
I
it's
can't spell chat either.
so yeah, we've completely ruined this cover with all the crap chat, but
Yeah,
shall we move
absolutely.
on to the next one?
Let's move on.
Uh, he always picks a goodie, doesn't he, when he's not here? That's the thing. I think he does it on purpose, to be fair.
I
Do
think
you,
it's
do
a
you want to?
sympathy vote.
I think so, mate. I think so. And do you want to introduce this one for us, Tom?
Yes, mate. So this is the Amazing Spider-Man issue 29, and this is the John Jang store exclusive variant. John Jang is a friend of the show, so I think Charlie's picked this because John Jang's a friend of the show. Hopefully that John's watching and will vote and get 10 points.
Times 10 votes, yeah.
But like Andy's just said, I think this is quite a stunning cover. It's got very Edge of the Spider-Verse kind of vibes. It's got all like the fainted little dots here and there, which kind of makes it look like he's going through the multiverse. The electric is really cool in this. The art just pop. There's something about John Jang's artwork that kind of pops. But what I'll say about it is, have we seen this before? Like, that's the problem I think with most Spider-Man covers now. It's very hard to see a Spider-Man cover and gone, have we seen this before? Have they done it before? Is it, another way of doing Spider-Man in like a slightly different position? I mean, this almost looks like he's slightly in a different position just because his finger's stuck out. Do you know? Does that make sense? That's the
Yeah.
only difference. But it's not. I'm sure there's more to it than that.
I think he's got a winning formula, and I think Marvel know that he has a winning formula.
Yeah.
So I don't blame John for producing all these books because as you say, you can tell it's a John Jang cover, and I think we've just got to the point where we've seen so many of these covers that we're almost a little bit spoiled. So then we start to critique them, which,
Yeah.
if you see this cover in any other situation, you'd be like, wow, that's a fantastic cover. I think this is great. I love John Jang's stuff. He's also a fantastic guy. Whenever he was on the show, he was absolutely great to us, and we hopefully have him back on. So I think this is a really, really good pick by Charlie.
I think going back to what you just said slightly, sorry to reverse a little bit. I think if you were to, so essentially, if you were brand spanking new to comics and you went into a comic shop as a little kid and you saw this on the shelf, you'd pick this one over R2.
Oh, without doubt, yeah, 100%.
100%. Because you'd see the
Yeah.
colors, it would pop. You'd be like, oh my God, it's Spider-Man. You'd know who Spider-Man was without even knowing who Spider-Man was.
Yeah. And it's obviously a store exclusive as well, so it's going to be a wee bit more expensive. But
Yeah.
I think this came as a Virgin cover as well, obviously with the trade dress on the back.
Yeah.
But to be honest with you, I do like the trade dress on the back.
Me too.
I think it definitely makes it. So yeah, that's Charlie's pick. That's the Amazing Spider-Man issue number 29. Whilst we are getting, the vote is now live up on the chat. So please, everybody, make sure that you vote for your favorite. I'll just run through them very quickly again. So we've got Charlie's John Jang stored variant Amazing Spider-Man 29. You've got mine, which is the Nathan Zerdy variant B for X-Men 101. And then you've got Tom's, which is the Ivan Reyes Night Terrors issue number 1. So yeah, good choices, I think. Let us know.
Definitely.
Let us know in the chat, guys, if there's anything that we've missed cover-wise. And you're always more than welcome, guys, to contact one of us if you want your pick to be put up as an option. We're more than happy to do that. But before we move into the review, I'm just going to double check on the chat, because I think we had a few more people joining. Let's see what everybody is saying. JP, you're more than welcome. JP, no problem at all. As I say, anybody that missed the shout out, make sure that you go sub up JP Venom and see his review on Tuesday with the guys. It was fantastic. We've got Yuko Demands Treats. Hey everyone, thank you for joining. I love that avatar, the little picture. That dog is,
yeah, mate, that's so cool.
Can you
do that again?
A beauty. What did I do?
I love that. I think that's how we should now refer to every cover. Is like, this is a beauty.
Then the opposite of that is it's just pure mince. You know, that is,
pure
Fuzzy
mince.
would say. Speaking of Fuzzy, he's still waiting on his comics being delivered. Interested to see how the signings of the City book is. Yeah, again, that's another one that's on our sneak peeks for next week to possibly review. We have Ed Vick in the house. Evening peeps, how's it going? And let's see. Dan Dixon saying neon 80s theme going off there. That must be your book there, Tom. Definitely having that vibe. Martin Simcox is saying, is there a misprint issue with the Night Terrors cover? Good choice. Don't know.
Oh, I don't know if it's got a misprint.
Yeah. What was misprinted, Martin? Let us know. Let's see. Dan is saying that that's what he heard. We've got Jack Rollins in the house. How's it going, my friend? Thank you for joining. We really appreciate you.
What's up, Jack?
Everybody's going back and forward, and then we have ABZ, who's coming in with the 6-pack of Tenants and cracking them open and passing them round to everybody. So we appreciate you for joining ABZ. ABZ.
ABZ.
What we're going to do next, we're going to do some reviews. I think that's kind of what we're here for, isn't it? Swan songs, Tom. 73% of the vote, and the good people of the YouTube community voted for this bad boy. This is written by W. Maxwell Prince. And the cover that you're looking at there is by the fantastic Martin Simmons. Now, there was 1 or 2 covers for this. We've got the main cover by Martin. There's already a second printing of this. Did you see that, Tom? There was a second printing for this book as well.
I did, mate.
Not surprised. Not surprised, to be honest. We have the cover B by Malavia. It's a Malavia variant. Malavia. We have the San Diego Comic Con exclusive variant, which looks like just a black and white one of the first one that we looked at. Is there any more for any more? I don't know if there's... Nope, there's not. So that's the 4 covers that we had. Tom, I'm going to start with you.
Okay.
You happy enough? Do you want to give the good listeners, stroke watchers, a little taste of what the synopsis was of this book?
Okay. So Swan Songs is, again, another one of those books written by Maxwell Prince that is a bit of an anthology. Each individual issue is going to be about the end of something. And this particular issue is about the end of the world, as it were. But it's coming from a point of view of a young lad who is looking after his dying mother. And he's reading her essentially the English version to the American version to Gardening World. So he's reading her the book on her dying deathbed as the doomsday clock is going and like counting down. So it's his story about that with her. And Maxwell Jones does this amazing thing of making books really depressing. And this is a very depressing book. I mean, don't even pick this book up if you want to have a joyful read, because it's not a joyful read. However, it is a masterclass in telling a beautiful story from a slightly different, depressing angle. The whole premise is that basically it gets to the end of this book and the lad's like, there's one more issue, Mom. There's one more issue. I just need to go out into the apocalypse, get the issue and come back. And she's like, no, don't bother. And then she falls asleep and he's like, right, I'm going to go and get it. And then it's about his adventure and what he has to go through to get the book, to then go back and read it to his mom, which is a really heartfelt story about the lengths people will go to for love or like to go through for a loved one. And I thought it was really well written. And then obviously the artwork by Simmons is just insane. I mean, you might recognize his artwork from stuff like Department of Truth. Now, I personally don't like Department of Truth. I thought it was a bit much. The artwork in this really lends itself to the story, because it's a post-apocalyptic. Everything's gone crazy. Everyone's like nuts, and the artwork is nuts. But the artwork's so good.
Yeah.
The whole story is so good. The artwork's good. The story's good. It takes you on this amazing journey with this lad who goes through all these things. And then when he finally, like, the whole thing ends, the way, it's really hard to explain without spoiling it, but the way that the book kind of pans out and he starts reading more of this gardening world, the gardening world book that he reads essentially is the story that you have to follow him on. So if you read carefully in the first few books, first few panels, it tells you what's going to happen, how it's going to happen through plants, which is just so clever.
Yeah.
And I just thought it was really good. It was like a masterclass. What I like about this Swan Song story that's going to go forward is that each individual issue is about something ending, and each individual issue's got a brand spanking new artist, which I just think is amazing. And it goes back to what's that other one that we read that was very similar, where it's Silver Coin. Where there's a different artist and slightly standalone story for each one. So it kind of, it's very similar to that. So hopefully I haven't even given you a sprinkle. I've given you everything, but
that was like a starter on the main course you just gave it there, Tom.
Yeah.
And I loved it.
Hopefully people will understand what it's about.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I think you used the word masterclass. And we don't normally use it very often in the show. Especially over, I'd say even this year has been a challenging year when it comes to, getting some really good books. I would say you're absolutely spot on. This is a masterclass. You're taking on a bit of a journey, and this is a son and a mother and son story, effectively, that we're taking on. For me, the story was beautiful and horrific at the same time.
Yeah.
And I think W. Maxwell Prince is the best writer in writing a story from start, middle, and end in one issue, because that's not an easy job to do. And for people who enjoy just getting stuck right into a story, and not having to wade through 6 or 7 issues, this is probably the anthology series for you. If you like Ice Cream Man, if you like the Silver Coin, this is the kind of a vibe that it gives off. The one thing that I got from this was, if a book makes me think about it after I've read it, and it gives me sort of, like, it was quite an emotional read, I thought. It brought a lot of things home to me for various personal reasons. And
same, mate. Same.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think anybody who has lost someone will resonate with this, because for me, the young boy, it was like the only thing he could control, and I said this in Triple G's show, the only thing he could control was the journey that he was on. So he couldn't control the fact that it was the end of the world and the ticking time was going down. He couldn't control the fact that his mum was terminally ill and was about to pass away. But the only thing he could control was the journey that he had to go on to pick up this last issue of the gardening magazine, to take back and read to his dying mum. And like in 22, 25 pages, whatever it is, W. Maxwell Prince was able to tell that story from start, middle to end, and make us actually feel quite emotional about the two characters. And I don't know about you, but I thought that the end panel, which surprisingly they didn't show, but the end panel I thought was just something of beauty, because effectively what happens is it's the apocalypse happens and the big boom happens, but the way the artwork is done by Martin Simmons, it looks as if it was like a flower blooming, and it was almost like that was the start and the creating of life, but it was the end of the world, and more than likely, well, obviously the end of her life and her son's life and everybody else that was on the planet. And I just thought there was something that resonated. It was beautiful.
You know what's really cool though? Like you've said how it ends, but it's not a spoiler, because you open the book knowing it's going to end with the apocalypse and the end of the story. The story itself, and there are no spoilers. Like, it's not like there's a secret appearance of someone, or like something amazing happens. It literally is, like you said, a journey of a lad willing to do anything for that last moment with his mother. But I'll go back to what you just said, Andy, about the journey. I think it's such a beautifully written book to remind everybody in the world, like at any point, you have no control over anything other than your own journey. And I think that's a great way of doing it. Like this book just says he's got no control. The world's about to end. His mother is on death's door, so he can't do anything about that. The only thing he can do is change his narrative to be like, right, I'm going to go and get the book and I'm going to bring it back.
Yeah.
Simple. And I think that's something to learn for everyone from this book, is like, we are all on our own narrative. Make sure you write your own narrative. Like, make sure you do your own journey, because all the factors behind you about the world, what's going on, politics, war, everything that, you can't control any of that. You might as well just stick to you and do you.
Beautifully said. I don't think I could have said it any better than that. That was absolutely spot on. I think the fact that in this story they use the end of the world and that ticking time bomb, you know, going down and down and down. And I think, as you say, it was almost like a metaphor for our own lives. That
Yeah.
We don't necessarily have you know, the ticking time bomb is, you know, as every day you're getting older and older and older. So what's your swan song going to be? It's what's your story going to be? And I think that was absolutely fantastic. What's your score out of 10, Tom?
Well, overall, for the whole thing,
yeah,
I would probably at this point in the year, I'm going to give this book a 9, almost a 9.5, because I would say at the moment, this is probably topping the whole charts for me for this whole entire year so far. I think this is my favorite book that we've read, and I hope to go forward, even if it gets to the end of the year and Swan Songs as a series is cat. This book alone is my favorite book of the year. Just this standalone issue, my favorite book of the year so far.
I am going to agree with you. It's definitely been up there with my favorites. I think also that it's made me really look forward to the next issue and this issue after that. I'm going to go out on a bit of a limb here, Tom. I'm going to give this a 10 out of 10, and I'm also going to give it one of this. For me,
a willy twinge.
Wow. For me, this was perfect. I take my proverbial hat off to W. Maxwell Prince. This was an absolute beauty. I would highly recommend that everybody goes and checks this out and gives it a read. And I'd be really interested to see what everybody else thinks of it, because I'm almost sure that each person will take something different from this. And again, that's them writing their own story. So for me, this was a killer, and I'm going to give it the killer seal of approval. I think this is an absolute beaut.
Do you know what? I'm going to retract what I said. I'm going to do the same.
Ooh,
I'm going to go 10 out of 10 and do the same. I'm pulling the trigger too.
Boom. So
that's what happens when Charlie's not here.
Sure. So we'll just listen, we're going to take it off. Charlie, what do you think? Oh, yeah, he thinks it's a killer too. I'm just going
to phone him. Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In it.
Geezer.
We're not on commission, but we just love good comics, and we think you should go and check that out if you get the option to. So
I think it's comics like this that make you excited to read comic books again. And we've read a few where it's been a little bit like, a pain to read, pain to review, pain to bring on the show and talk about. This is a breath of fresh air. This is literally like, you knew exactly what was going to happen. You knew how it was going to happen, but it was the journey you were taking on that just made it extremely special. And I am excited to read the next one. I believe the next book is about a divorce.
Yes. And again, I'm sure that, you know, people will be able to resonate with that, because I think that's the beauty that W. Maxwell Prince has tapped into. Each, I think, of the themes that he's picked, it's something that at least one person's experienced. So they're going to relate, and that's why it becomes more personal to you, and it means something more to you. So, yeah, this was a banger, guys. So that is Swan Songs issue number 1. Definitely go and give this a read. Triple G has joined us. How's it going, Peter? Hope you're well.
Peter!
Make sure that you go and check out Peter's show, which just probably finished a moment ago. And make sure that you give him a subscribe and thumbs up and all that good stuff. You're absolutely right, Bat Dan. We need some confetti. Like, I don't feel like the logo is enough. I feel as if we need like a, you know, a trumpet
We need like a
salute. Yeah. Oh, we should clip that and use that every single show.
yeah.
What we started back then, what we started. So let's move on. That was good. We're going to move on to final order cutoff. Guys, this is the part of the show where we pick our top 3 final order cutoff books in association with our good friends at Slab Crusaders. Guys, for everybody who's a regular on the show, we've been sort of pushing everybody to Slab Crusaders because, for me, they're one of the best at what they're doing. I moved all my subs and my single issue purchases from those guys, and also my slab pickups as well. So I've moved the whole house over to those guys, and the service that I've been getting is great. So they offer a final order cut-off purchase, and you have to order it before 9 p.m. Now, I think it's on a Sunday you've got to. So you've got a little bit of extra time. And I said that last week I was going to update this slide, and I completely forgot.
Did.
So my bad.
Yeah.
I had one job. So this is the opportunity for you to order it up before James has to go and make his final orders with Diamond. So this is going to be your last chance, and hopefully you'll be able to pick up a book or two before it obviously starts to double, treble in price on the old bay. First up is my pick. I went for The Sickness, issue number 1. This is a second printing. This is a quite a fancy fluorescent ink cover, so a little bit of glow in the dark action on this one. This is the publisher is Uncivilized Comics. This is written by Lonnie Nadler and Jenny Cha, and the artwork and the cover art is also by Jenna Cha. Now, this has had a huge amount of hype to it. Hence the reason why it's come out in a second printing. I think the first print completely sold out. I think a lot of like bloggers and YouTubers and stuff were sort of picking this book up, and it completely, just vanished from eBay, vanished from everywhere. So if you do get a chance to pick
The Sickness,
absolutely, they've got The Sickness for the sickness. It's a
do you know what? Here. If I could, I would recite. Is it Disturbed? The Sickness.
Yeah, do it. I'll make you big, Tom.
I can't remember how it goes. Oh wow!
Yeah. So this is my pick. I think you should pick this up for a few reasons. The story's good. The cover looks sick. Pardon the pun. And I think there's a fair chance that this one, if it goes a little bit under the radar, it might, have a good return if you decide to do the old flippy flip on the books. I've made it dead easy for you guys. You just put your phone up to the QR code. It'll take you straight to the Slab Crusaders website, and you can pick it up and you can stack your books and then pay for them whenever, or stack your books and then get them organized to get paid for whenever you've got maybe a bunch to save on your shipping. Next, Uncanny Avengers issue number 1.
Issue 1. I think this is Charlie's pick, mate.
This is Charlie. Oh, shit.
Marvel Comics.
I don't really know much about this book or why he picked it. Do you know anything cool? Is this a killer key, Tom? Remember that?
I don't know if it's a killer key, mate, but I do know that it's a brand new, fresh start. I mean, Marvel have started running out most issues now as a fresh start, and I think this is the first time team-wise that Psylocke has been part of the event, the Uncanny Avengers. So I think that is maybe why it's a key.
Okay.
But yeah. I like this. I like the look of this one, but it's all coming off the back of the Fall of X, the new X-Men thing that's going on. So I'm pretty sure they're splitting the X-Men up and they're kind of going their own separate ways. But I'm pretty sure Jason Aaron is doing a part of this, and he talked about kind of, do you remember back in the day they did the New Avengers where Wolverine and Spider-Man joined the team?
Yeah.
They're linking it to that kind of thing. It's going to be that kind of like unexpected team members. So these are the ones that are definites. But there are a few unexpected team members that you're not going to know about till later on in the book. Okay,
cool. Well, it's an issue 1. I might give this a go, give it a read.
I always try to read issue 1s.
See, the thing is, as soon as I seen, I'll tell you what put me off was the Fall of X thing, because I'm a little bit with Charlie. Like every time, I try to get into X-Men or anything relating to X-Men, I just can't do it. So maybe this
too much. Wrong. I think, unfortunately, X-Men's gone since Marvel got it back.
Yeah.
It's gone a bit crazy. Like there's
Mm.
so many titles now when there used to just be a staple X-Men comic, Wolverine and the X-Men, and then like your odd one or two kind of story arcs. Now it's like you've got X-Men, you've got X-Force, you've got Red X-Men, you've got Immortal X-Men, you've got Fall of X running along one side, and then you've got all the kind of Hellions. It's just ridiculous. And I get that. If anyone's wanting to read X-Men comics, it's hard to know where to start. I personally would massively say if you're going to read them, just read the staple standard X-Men because it does cover everything.
Mm-hmm. I think what we need, Tom, is we need a creator spotlight on the X-Men.
Shit. Have you all
I
got
think
5 hours?
I was going to say, yeah. I think if we could give people some recommendations as to where to start, then that would be good. But Ed Vick is saying here that he got the sickness, but the art has made him not read it yet. I don't even know what the insides look like. Is it hard work, Ed? Let me know. And Ed is saying here that agrees, Tom, that no idea where to pick up from. Yeah, I think everybody's on that boat. Unless you're like a diehard X-Men fan and you've been reading it since like Claremont, then where do you start? You know?
Well, I was going to say I had this conversation with Attention Seeking Geek at Thought Bubble last year with the X-Men comics, and because there's so many titles out there, but we've all got one or two X-Men that we really like. So I like Colossus, but he's not in the main X-Men story. He's in the X-Force story. If I read X-Force, I ain't got a clue what's going on.
Yeah.
And it's like, so if you pick a character, you're, I'll follow Wolverine. He is in the main X-Men, but he's also not. So you get two conflicting stories, and it's like,
it's too much for the brain. And Martin's saying there that he agrees with you. He just wants a very good X-Men book.
Yeah,
we deserve it. I think we do. I think old like X-Men fans deserve it, and people who are new to it, like myself, kind of deserve it as well. And Triple G is pretty much confirming what we all thought. Most is unreadable at the moment, sadly. It's up there with the Spider-Man stuff. So yes, guys, that's the Uncanny Avengers issue number 1. Go check it out. Don't let Fall of X put you off. Is this yours?
It is, mate. So I chose Batman White Knight Presents Generation Joker issue 4. I don't know if any of you guys have been reading Batman White Knight Generation Joker. It's been really quite good and quite heartfelt that Jackie is trying to bond with her dad and he just so happens to be an AI. But I picked this one because I absolutely love Mirka Andolfo's artwork. So I picked this one because she's doing the cover for this. And I was like, It's got to be a must pick up. Pure cover buy. I mean, the story's amazing, but this is just a pure cover buy for me.
Well, I'm stacking this book because I buy all the Sean Murphyverse books for Batman, but I haven't read it yet.
Have you not?
I've heard no. Is it worth a read? Yeah,
I think it's good. So like, it's got massively mixed. I think it's like Marmite. It's split people down the middle. People are like, oh, is Sean Murphy kind of bit off more than he can chew? Is he just flogging a dead horse? Whereas
is it not more
like
Katana?
Myself,
is it not more Katana Collins writing it than him?
I think it is more Katana writing it, but I think the whole Murphyverse thing is what they're saying is have they pushed it too far now? Have they? Sure. Is it enough? Let it go. Let it. You know, you've done Batman Beyond. Stop there. Like leave it there. But I think this is expanding lovely into the next kind of generation. And I think what they're trying to create is Jackie and Bruce, his Joker's kids, being the next generation of characters that we're going to follow. And I really like that.
Yeah, I think The White Knight is probably one of my favourite Batman stories. I think it's up there. So yeah,
the first one was insane.
Oh, it was great. It was just something. It's so fresh, so new. It was absolutely fantastic. Martin saying he was brought up on Byrne and Claremont X-Men. So he's been spoiled by the bit. No, you're absolutely right, Martin.
100%.
Claremont, that's X-Men that I could definitely go back and enjoy. And the artwork is just chef's kiss. Chef's kiss.
Chef's kiss. Bit of salt.
That is our 3 FOC pickups, guys. So as I say, even if you don't want to, click that QR code and pick these 3, make sure that you go check out Slab Crusaders. Go follow them on Instagram and just let them know that the Killer Comic Show sent you. That would be much appreciated. Much appreciated.
Muchos.
Indeed. Next up. Killer indie picks. I've
All
no
you,
talking.
mate. I'm just going to sit back, relax, and watch the
Listen,
show.
you just get yourself primed for some DELL'OTTO.
I'm just going to get my bowl of fruit.
I'm
carry
starving
on.
as well. I'm starving as well. So, guys, this is the Killer Indie Picks. This is for next week's releases, July 19th. And again, I've picked 3 books here, which I think should be on your radar and might be ones that you might want to pick up. So, first up from Skybound is Void Rivals, issue number 2, written by Robert Kirkman, artwork by Lorenzo De Felice. And guys, issue number 1 was an absolute banger for this book. Again, Tom, you'll probably agree you don't need to be a Transformers fan to enjoy this book.
No.
It's almost like this is going to be 6 issues of its own contained story, and it will probably just reveal a new Transformer every story or every issue, sort of thing.
There's rumors that obviously they've revealed Transformers now. They've not revealed the G.I. Joe yet. So there's rumors that the G.I. Joe are going to make an appearance in Void Rivals. I honestly, guys, if you're looking at things from a key perspective and a flipping perspective, I'd get on Void Rivals now, because I think all 6 issues are going to reveal the first appearance in a Image comic from our classic characters that we like as kids.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Optimus Prime's going to make an appearance, 100%.
Oh, but yeah, without a doubt. And I've no doubt at the end there'll be some sort of either new character or new team that's presented that's going to go into Daniel Warren Johnson's books as well, do you know? So
100%.
Yeah, 100% pick up Void Rivals if you can. I'll definitely be reading this. Next up, so this is Big Game. This is issue number 1. This is Mark Miller, or Mark Millar, as some would say. This is artwork by Pepe Larraz, and it's from Miller World. So this is all part of the universe that Mark Miller's creating. I didn't even know. This was quite a surprise to me when I was looking up the books that were coming out. This completely missed me, passed me by. And the synopsis is quite intriguing. I'll say that for Mark Miller or whoever it is that writes these synopsises. Synopsis. I'll commit anyway. It says, okay, this is so top secret we can't even show you the main cover because it spoils everything, or it spoils something massive. Just trust us when we say that this is going to be the comic book event of 2023, and it's not what you're expecting. Big words. Does the crossover really go that wide? Yes, it does. Big Game pulls together Kick-Ass, Kingsman, Nemesis, the Magic Order, and all the Miller World franchises into one special event. This must be ordered like crazy. Anybody who's familiar with Kick-Ass, Nemesis, the Magic Order, Kingsman, and every other entity that Mark Miller's done probably wants to go on this, because I would say that this is going to be the start of something, as they say, quite special. Tom, are you familiar with
this one?
Are you familiar with it?
I'm not, mate. It came up on my radar a couple of weeks ago when I was looking through covers and stuff, because there are some amazing covers for this, and there's some amazing homage covers of the characters. I think there's a Kick-Ass cover, which is basically the Dark Knight cover from Mark Miller's Dark Knight run. And that's the other thing. What you just said is no Mark Miller world or Mark Miller work is achievable to be in this. I mean, Batman is part of that.
True.
You know, Spawn is part of that.
Is he allowed though to? I don't think he'll be allowed to show that in an Image book, would he?
Probably I don't know.
I don't know.
He'd be able to show Spawn in an Image book, and Spawn and Batman did have a crossover in a DC book last year.
True. I think it's one of those ones that's so intriguing to see who he actually introduces. It's worth picking up the first issue at the very least. And Triple G saying here that he's looking forward to this one. I would dare say, Peter, that this is probably going to be one that we'll read on your show, I would say. So yeah, that's Big Game issue number 1. My last pick, I went for something a little bit, cheeky. You know, my last pick, I had to. This is Image Comics. This is Scrapper, issue number 1. This is written by Alex DeCampi and Cliff Blazinski. I'm committing Sorry,
Go for
Cliff,
it.
if I ruined that. And the artwork is by Sandy Jarrell. The synopsis for this one, guys, is Cliff Bleszinski is a game designer, and I think this is like one of his first comic books that he's done. So apparently, Cliff's done stuff like Gears of War and Fortnite. So I know like the likes of James T. Keegan, who's well into his computer games, you might recognize him. So this is his comic debut, and the synopsis reads that this is a Blade Runner style action, mixes with big emotions. A stray dog, Scrapper, and his buddy Tank fight for justice against the against the forces. I can't say that other word. Against the forces of a post-apocalyptic domed city. But when the fight comes to his home, Scrapper will face losing what's most important to him and gain a terrifying truth in the process. Don't worry, Mum. The dog doesn't die. I think this sounds quite intriguing, Tom. Is this something that floats your boat?
I think I would. Yeah, I think I would read this book.
Would it be one that you would read over the other two? I think for me, I picked these in order. This would kind of be the last one I would pick up just for a little bit of fun to see what it's like. You know?
Yeah, no, I'd agree with you on that one. I probably would read the other two books first.
Yeah, 100%. So, guys, that's my indie picks for this week. Again, if I've missed any, please let us know in the chat or in the comments when you're watching the rewind. But these are ones that I think should definitely be on your radar. That's everything from that's like the usual business put to the side. I think what we've got now is probably the big guns. So, speaking of big guns, shall we get right into it? Tom,
Ooh.
I'm moist with anticipation for this one. There's been quite the build up for this. So I will hand over to you and I'll sit back. Just let me know when you want me to move the slides on.
Let's see if we can deliver on this one, shall we? So obviously, guys, we've been doing these showcases each week, and so far we've only done characters. So I thought I'd throw a curveball into the showcase, and I thought I would bring you the amazing Italian artist known as Gabriele Dell'Otto. So if Andy, you can spin the slides. Gabriele Dell'Otto was born in 1973 on the 30th of December. He's an Italian illustrator and author whose works have been seen on publishings in several countries in fields of scientific illustration, comic books, calendars, lithographs, colored graphic folders, covers of works on magazines, and also video games. He's very well known in a lot of industries for being one of the nicest guys as well. He also has done a lot for his community in Italy, in Rome, where he's from. Spin that slide, Andy.
Can I just say, Tom, that I didn't even know what Gabriele Dell'Otto looked like until I had seen these slides.
Did you not?
No, I think he's just one of those sort of creators where you just instantly.
He's a very handsome Italian man.
Oh, listen, that beard is definitely doing something. Moving on.
The Roman artist Dell'Otto enrolled at the European Institute of Design and for a couple of years worked through the Illustrazon Scientifica Studios in Rome. In the late 1990s, he began doing art for the European division of Marvel Comics, including covers, posters, and lithographs. Whilst in Germany, he collaborated with DC Comics, among other publishers like IPP, Egmont Empire, MG Publishings, and a lot other others. But in 2004, he got his big break when he finally moved into Marvel, and he gave us his debut of both internal and cover art for Marvel, the USA version, with the Secret Wars. But we'll get into that in a minute. So my next question is, and I will tell you about how mine came about. But Andy, what would be your first encounter when you saw Gabriele Dell'Otto's artwork or fell in love with Gabriele Dell'Otto's artwork?
That's a great question. And it's funny that your slide actually has a lot of Spider-Man up there because it was actually a Spider-Man book. And for those of you who know me, I do like a little bit of speculation when it comes to comics and stuff like, letting the hobby pay for itself. So there was a book, I think it was issue 667 of Amazing Spider-Man, and he done a very limited cover. I don't even know if it was a 1 in 50 or a 1 in 100, but it was part of the Spider Island sort of arc and story.
Yep.
And it's worth a lot of money. And that book just, it took my breath away, that cover. I thought it was absolutely stunning. So I'd say that's probably the first encounter that made me sort of deep dive into the rest of his work.
Okay, well, that particular book is actually within these slides, so we will talk about that one shortly. So is mine. My first encounter with Gabriele Dell'Otto just happened to be the Annihilation story arc that happened back in 2005, I believe. For those of you who don't know, Annihilation there was Nova, there was Drax, there was Silver Surfer, Super Skrull, and Ronin. They all had their own little standalone issues, and then there was the ongoing Annihilation issue at the same time, and it's all to do with the Annihilation wave, and it's actually what brought us Guardians of the Galaxy that we now know and love. It all came from that series, and Dell'Otto did all the covers and a lot of the interior artwork, so that's how I got involved in Dell'Otto. And like I said, when we get to the slide, I'll explain a little bit more and talk to you about the actual book when it was published and all that kind of jazz. But yeah, guys, if you want to drop in the comments when your first encounter was with Gabriele Dell'Otto, or even your favorite covers, so we can have a look ourselves, and we can all chat about it then afterwards, and obviously on the old Instas.
And speaking of chat, Tom, I can see that Paul in the 619 has joined us. So hello, fellas. Hi, chat. Thank you for joining, my friend. Really appreciate it. We also have But Naked Truth. Love that name.
Nice.
DELL'OTTO is the best. I think DELL'OTTO is the best. And then we have Martin is saying that he's well and truly like button pressed. So guys, take that as your lead, and hit that like button. And if you are watching the rewind, make sure that you leave us a little tasty comment as well. Paul is just saying here that DELL'OTTO has always been one of the premier cover artists. Absolutely, without
Agreed.
a doubt.
Totally. As soon as his artwork's on anything, people go mad for it.
Yeah, 100%.
It's a massive common misconception that Dell'Otto is a painter. Essentially, he's not a painter. He's an illustrator. He's an artist. He uses pens and pencils and crayons and little oil. What they called? They're not oil sticks. Oil pastels.
Pastels. Yeah.
He obviously he has done paintings. There are quite a few paintings, but the oil pastels is where his bread and butter is. So the first book he ever had published for Marvel, USA Marvel out there, was Secret Wars issue 1, and he did the entire series from issue 1 to issue 5 alongside Brian Michael Bendis, who wrote the incredible story. It was a little mini series, and it went into some in-depth stuff about who's screwing who over. I don't know if you've read it, Andy, but I quite enjoyed the Secret Wars, this one, as a book.
Loved it. Yeah.
More so because of the interior artwork, which is also Gabriele Dell'Otto.
Yeah.
Rare to find his interior artwork these days. So if you get a chance to go back and look at some of his really cool interior artwork, I'd suggest going back to Secret Wars for the full series.
And I don't know if you would agree, Tom, but the Secret Wars run, because it's DELL'OTTO that does the interiors, you could literally strip out all the words and just enjoy it as an art book, because it is that good. Yeah,
I believe in Rome, after this book was published, they did a little homage to DELL'OTTO, where they put the pages on the wall for people to look at as art pieces, and a lot of people couldn't tell that it was a comic book. They just thought it was a story about random people and random monsters who'd never read comic books, which is cool because it then brings comic books to the masses of people that don't necessarily read comic books. Which I
100%. Yeah. Next.
Yeah, next. Go for it.
I don't know whether to hit the next button or no. I'm like,
I'll do this. Shall I do this?
Yeah, move on. Next.
So, as Andy alluded to, there is one particular book that Gabriele Dell'Otto has put his artwork on, and that is Amazing Spider-Man issue 667. And it was back in 2011. It was I think it was supposed to be a 1 in 25, but actually only 225 copies of this book were ever printed. So it's a very rare, very hard book to get a hold of. It's absolutely stunning. And a 9.6 very recently went for $8,000. So if you've got one in your collection, oh, sorry, it was originally supposed to be a 1 in 100. I do apologize. But if you've got one in your collection, I'd get that bad boy slabbed, guys, because it's going to be
So
worth a hell of a lot.
a 1 in 100, I can appreciate and I can get, but there must have been like something wrong with the print run or something like that if only 225 copies managed to get printed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So basically, I think what happened, it was under ordered. Issue
Oh, okay.
666 was under ordered. And then as a byproduct, not many of these were made, which is amazing. But at the same time, quite annoying because now it's a very sought after book. And those of us who are, completionists who love DELL'OTTO will never be able to achieve to get this book, unfortunately.
That's actually a good question, Tom. I wonder if our good friend Luke has this book.
I would assume so. However, it depends whether Luke gets every single issue and every single variant.
Every single variant cover, yeah, that's true. Is anybody in the chat got this or know anybody that has it? Anybody that's watching the rewind? Are you blessed enough to have this book? Because if you have, I'm so jealous.
But this book has already been stated, and I think it might be in the Marvel Guinness Book of Records as one of the rarest, if not the rarest, Spider-Man book to come across.
Oh, I love it.
And that's not just because it's been around forever. It's just because it's only 225 issues.
Indeed.
So another key book, which we spoke about for DELL'OTTO, is The Annihilation, the whole thing, prelogue all the way through. So as my first bit of recommendation to you as a Gabriele DELL'OTTO fan is to go and get The Annihilation hardcover, or even borrow one, because it is one of the best written stories, in my opinion, that Marvel did that doesn't involve any of your standard Marvel characters from back in the day. This book is huge. It's absolutely massive. I don't know if I can get hold of mine from here. But it's absolutely, it's such a good book. And you've got issue 1 to 4 of Drax the Destroyer, 1 to 4 of Ronin, 1 to 4 of Nova, 1 to 4 of Silver Surfer. You've got all of Annihilation itself. You've got the Annihilation Heralds of Galactus 1 and 2, and then you've got the Nova Corps files in there too. So it's a really good, a decent book to read. And a lot of the artwork is done by Gabriele DELL'OTTO. So it's literally a DELL'OTTO fest. But this is the cover, guys, that I saw in the shops. And I was like, I'm all in. I love this guy. He's my favorite artist. Apart from
this was the
cover.
Book right.
This is the cover.
And I know that hardcovers and omnibuses and stuff like that are, once they've went out of print, it can be quite hard. Is this one of these books where if I go to try and find this, it's going to cost me a fortune?
You should be okay. I did check on Amazon, and you can get the trade paperback. I think it's around £20 to £30.
Oh,
the hardcover, I think, is a lot harder to come by.
Yeah, I was thinking that was my fear, that the omnibus would probably cost a pretty penny. I'm just going to very quickly, Tom, jump back into the.
I see that Luke's commented.
Let's see. Yeah, so let's start here with Peter. So Nova covers from Annihilation for me. There we go. And But Naked Truth is saying Bry's comic DELL'OTTO exclusive is one of my new favorite covers. Don't think I've seen that one. Have you seen that, Tom?
Yeah, I think I know what he's talking about. Yeah.
And Triple G saying we have Quick. Yeah, I think that was the first appearance of Quick in that book that we were talking about. Our good friend Ben has dropped in to say, sorry I'm late, guys. Just popping in to say hello.
Speaking of that, he must have heard me talk about him.
Telling you. He's Spider Sense.
Yes.
I don't know why I've done that.
He's attention sense. Attention seeking tense.
What is this? And there he is. There's Luke there. Speaking of Spider Sense, I don't have this cover, and to be honest, I'm not a huge fan of it. If he had it, he'd sell it. Controversial.
Ooh, nice.
No, I love this cover. Look, I think it's absolutely fantastic. And Martin is saying here that all new Miracle Man Annual 1 from 2014 was his first encounter of DELL'OTTO.
Yeah, good book.
Yeah, I can't picture it. I'll probably need to go and Google it after the show. It doesn't jog my memory. But sorry. Continue, Tom. Should I move on slides, or are we
move on slides?
Moving on.
Moving on. So change of pace a little bit. I wanted to share with you guys a couple of my favorite DELL'OTTO pieces. So I am a massive Ultimate X-Men fan. It was one of the first books I, got really into, and it's probably the only thing I have in my collection that is a complete run from issue 1 to issue 100. I have every single one, all the variants, the whole lot. It's my favorite collection, as it were. And I love the story in it, but I love this cover that DELL'OTTO did on X-Men issue 96, which is Colossus, and you can see Wolverine in the reflection of Colossus's arm. So I had to put that in here to share that with you, and hopefully it might prompt you to go and read Ultimate X-Men, which was quite cool. Another piece of my favorite artwork is a piece of Spider-Man and Spawn done by DELL'OTTO on this new thing that he started doing, where he only does artwork on a colored background, whether it be black, whether it be like a purple background or red. He doesn't tend to work on white paper anymore. So this was one of the ones that really stood out to me. And I thought, this is absolutely stunning. I have to share this with people. So I thought I'd share that one. And then there's issue 7 of Superman and Batman, which is of Joker and Batman in the sewer fighting. Now, quick, kind of quite little niche thing to know is if you've got the American version of this, it's very easy to come by. If you have the French version of this book, it is worth a lot of money because it is very rare to come across the French version of this book, and it is also a virgin cover. It's the only one. It was never printed as a virgin in America or England. Only in France was it printed as a virgin. So if you can find it, it's worth a lot of money.
That's actually really interesting. The one thing that strikes me about specifically the 3 pictures that you've got up there is 2 of them are quite similar. Then you've got one that's quite, I think it's the background. It's quite a fresh, clean look about it. But the others, and this is what I sort of, what resonates with DELL'OTTO for me is the grittiness about the artwork, and it's quite dark. A lot of it, like you have to really look at it properly to pick out the distinct features. So I think those 2, the middle one and the right hand side, kind of give a good example of that. If only we had some more.
If only we had some more. Shock, horror. So I wanted to share you guys again another piece of fan artwork that I really liked that DELL'OTTO did was his Star Wars artwork. He's done quite a few of them, but in my opinion, this is the best one he did, which is of Darth Maul without the top on, both like swords out. Sorry, lightsabers. Don't come at me, Star Wars fans. Sorry.
Oh, wow, get off.
But I just loved it. I thought it was stunning, and I like that he's done it on a yellow piece of paper. It's not white. It was a yellow piece of paper that he's then done stuff over the top of, which I think is fantastic.
For you, Tom. Got a question. So that's fan art. So he's done that for somebody as a commission.
Yes. So essentially, it started off as commissions or like pieces that he's done as a fanboy. And I like that on his website, he calls them fan art. He doesn't call them DELL'OTTO's artwork. It's DELL'OTTO doing a fan service for Star Wars. He's such a humble chap.
That's so. My question is not just for DELL'OTTO, but if a creator does something like this, which is spectacular, it goes without saying. I think it's fantastic, and they do that as a commission piece. Can that artist then go and use that for a cover?
I don't see why not.
Like this to me screams out has to be a cover at some point. Like,
it should have been. It should
superb.
be.
Absolutely brilliant.
And speaking of things that should have been a cover, so there was a lithograph or a poster that came out back in the day for The Punisher Kills the Marvel Universe issue 1, and it was the museum. He did this museum edition, kind of almost like a wanted poster. Now you can't, unless you zoom right in, you won't appreciate this cover, but in this picture, you've literally got everybody's bits and bobs kind of hanging everywhere. You've got Captain America's shield in the background. Wolverine's claws are hanging off the sword. It's Deadpool's sword. You've got Thor's helmet hanging off. He's got, I think it's Iron Man's helmet crushed underneath his foot or by his leg. It's an incredible bit of artwork. But what I really like about it is this was one of the things I came across when I was doing my art degree. And it was talking about this particular image, about the asymmetrical way that he stood, and the fact that proportionally and camera angle wise, he's almost got this spot on. It's almost atomically perfect. It's almost like a complete and utter photograph. So this is actually used a lot in art studies, this particular piece. So I thought I'd share it with you.
Oh, no, that's very cool. No, these are absolutely stunning. And Luke's saying that his favourite DELL'OTTO Spidey book is a cheap one, The Clone Conspiracy issue number 4.
Is that the one of them
spider-mask lizard.
fighting? They like kind of the lizard almost looks like he's ripping Spider-Man apart, because that's quite a good cover, to be fair.
Yeah, so that's interesting. All the favorite art is absolutely fantastic, but I'm interested in where does somebody who's never read a Delotto book, where do they start, Tom?
Right. Well, I think first off, to start with, is if you've never read a DELL'OTTO book and you are interested in DELL'OTTO as an artist and where he's been and where he started, I'd start at the beginning. Pick up Secret Wars issue 1 to 4, or sorry, 1 to 5, or go out and get the hardcover, which you can get off Amazon, or you can go to your local comic shop and pick this up. It's only $29.99. So it's worth picking up for that. And like I said, it's right at the start. So this is the start of his career. And if you get these, I mean, you can see if you look at Black Widow in this cover, like look at that picture and then look at something he's created now, you can see his development as a comic book artist, which is incredible.
Absolutely. I have issue 1 to 5 of this. I think it's a fantastic run. And as I said before, even if you don't read the story, just read it to gaze at the artwork inside. It's absolutely stunning.
Yeah, absolutely. It's amazing. He's great. It's a great artist. And then also like disclaimer, the Ghost Rider in the background isn't from this book. So you can go out and get the Ghost Rider version of DELL'OTTO, but he don't think he ever actually wrote or it did any artwork on a Ghost Rider book other than covers. But this book he was involved with Grant Morrison, and him and Christopher Yoltz did a series called X-Force Sex and Violence. And it is exactly what it says on the tin. But Gabriele DELL'OTTO does the entire artwork. And he's really clever because although it is sex and violence, you don't necessarily see much of those two things because of the way DELL'OTTO has depicted the artwork within the book. So it's kind of a subtle homage to those things, but without you having to see them. So although it is
it's imagination, isn't it, Tom? It's imagination. It's interpretation.
Exactly.
It's like he hints at it, and it's more like the person who has the book, their interpretation of what's that those two things would look like. So
exactly, and it is for mature readers, but you could probably get away with being a bit younger to read it.
I have those 3 issues and the three covers that DELL'OTTO done, and it's funny because I probably didn't appreciate or realize that these were DELL'OTTO covers. That's how bad a DELL'OTTO fan I am. But now that I know that they are, it's one of those ones that I'll go and set aside and go, okay, well, I'll start a little DELL'OTTO run, you know.
Also, going back to the book itself, like the actual writing of the book, this series is where Wolverine no longer has his claws.
Okay.
Which is quite an interesting... oh, sorry, mate. Oh.
We have technical problems.
I apologize. My Siri or Alexa just started talking over my laptop. It's great. Apologies.
You've just ordered about 5 copies of this book.
Yeah, it's like, get me some X-Men Sex and Violence.
Wow. Yeah, no, this is definitely this is a great story as well. And again, the covers are absolutely superb. Some are actually quite harder than others to get. I think the aftermath. I was going to say, do you know when you say something you can't like take it back and it's already out there? I'm just going to quickly move on to this one.
Yeah, so another one that is worth picking up, guys. Again, artwork by Gabriele DELL'OTTO, writer Mark Waid and Jason Robinson, is the Amazing Spider-Man Family Business. You can get this one as a trade paperback or as a hardcover. I'd recommend the hardcover because it's just nicer to hang about with the hardcover. But also in this book, and not that I want to talk about another artist, is Weather Del Edra, who's an incredible artist. And this is his debut, was in this book alongside Gabriele DELL'OTTO, because Gabriele DELL'OTTO brought him into Marvel. So I've kind of put this book there for you guys to kind of go and read and enjoy, because it's a standalone story, great artwork, and you get introduced to another artist who has been brought in by one of my favorite artists. So that's why I thought I'd put this one in there for you guys.
That is awesome. And I didn't recognize it at the start, Tom, but how cool is his signature?
Like, isn't it just?
Like, it's worth the admission price alone. It's superb. It's fantastic.
I had to put it literally on every slide, but like I've been really inspired by DELL'OTTO's website, which I'll show you in a second. Because of his logo, it's made me want to do my personal training logo very similar, just using my name and make it really simple, because it's simple and effective.
That's exactly it. And like, you would instantly like if you've seen that, you just go, oh, that's a DELL'OTTO piece. You know, it's a little bit like J. Scott Campbell,
Yeah.
his signature. You just know it straight away. Is there any sort of art books or anything like that?
There are two. So there is the Art of Gabriele Dell'Otto, which is very easy to come by. But it's more of a Art of Marvel book. So you've got Dell'Otto and Alex Ross and others. However, there is one book, if you can find it, and you can, search through the archives of all the bookstores. There's a book called The Marvel Art of Gabriele Dell'Otto, and it's a hardcover. It never came out any other way. He's written it about himself and his story and all sorts. It's £5 in weight and 365 pages of pure Dell'Otto artwork. However, not many were printed. So it's very hard to come by. And if you do come across it, it's probably going to, if it's not in like a back end alley shop or in a bookstore somewhere and you find it at a comic shop, it's going to be well in the hundreds to buy.
So was this like a website exclusive or something like that, Tom? Was it, or?
It was Marvel dropping the ball again with Dell'Otto's artwork. So they only printed so many. I don't think there's that many. I think there's like 100, maybe 200 in circulation of this book.
All right, okay.
And I think a lot of them happen to be in Italy. So to get it, it's obviously £5 worth of weight that you've got to ship places, but it is quite hard to come by. But it's all his original artwork and sketches from 1998 all the way to 2016.
That's actually one of the things that I think is slept on by a lot of comic collectors and enthusiasts is the art of books. So if they do like sketchbooks or they do art of books, because a lot of them you can only get at conventions. A lot of them you can only get through their websites. For example, the Carla Cohn Thought Bubble release.
Yeah, so good.
And it's just a small little sketch art book, but it's fantastic. And I know I keep harping on about J. Scott Campbell, but he's obviously done a run of sketchbooks as well. So don't sleep on these books, because a lot of the time that'll be like really hard to find, and they go out of print very, very quickly. So I know what I'm going straight onto Google and straight on the eBay after this to see if I can find this bad boy.
Yeah. I mean, this one be worth for the collection, especially like, I think if I'm right in saying, I might be wrong, but because of COVID and lockdown and stuff, Dell'Otto's never actually been to the UK to a UK convention. However, he is keen to come to the UK to do a UK convention. So if he did, and you had this book and you got it signed
and sketched. Listen, let's make it our role now to get into Thought Bubble.
Mate,
guys,
let's do it.
I want everybody who's watching on the rewind to take a little screenshot of this and put it up and tag Gabriele Dell'Otto to say, this is here, come over to the UK and do a killer comic show signing. Now I'm just dreaming. So I'm absolutely just dreaming.
I'm just dreaming.
We've went through his books, recommended reading. We've went through some of these covers. If somebody wants to go and doesn't want to Google, is there anywhere that they can go to get a wee bit more information?
Yeah, absolutely. You can go to Gabriele Dell'Otto's website. So it is www.gabrieledellotto.it/. Be aware, a lot of it is in Italian, so you will have to change your settings to translate. But if you are interested in Gabriele Dell'Otto's artwork and seeing what else he's created, please go and follow him on Instagram, because his stuff is incredible. And I could have been here for hours trawling through his artwork, because he's not only done Marvel and DC characters, he's done video game characters. Like you can see that he's done Guile from Street Fighter, he's done Mortal Kombat characters, he's done Transformers, he's done Ultron, he's done Voltron, I think it's called. He's done all sorts, but he's at the moment very, very famous for doing the Disney characters. So definitely go and check what he's done out with the Disney characters.
Tom,
and there you go.
That was absolutely fantastic. I think it goes without saying that you're a fan. It certainly came through when you're discussing this stuff. Can I just say that the slides were superb? I really have to take my hat off to you. I'm sure that everybody in the chat and who watches the rewind appreciates the effort that goes into these. And do you know what I'm going to do, Tom? I'm going to give it a
my God!
Listen, I think this was absolutely fantastic. So thank you, Tom, for pulling this together.
No, you're welcome.
Superb. Absolutely
I'm just happy this is kind of my favorite part of the show now. Doing these showcases, because not only do I get to learn something from you and Charlie about your characters or your artists, I get to deliver something about someone that I enjoy talking about, who I can bring to the masses. And I'm pretty sure everyone who watches the show probably knows who Gabriele DELL'OTTO is, but you might not have known that he was from Rome. You might not have known that he's a scientific artist, not just a normal
100%.
artist. So I like that. It's just cool. So I appreciate you guys giving me the time to do the half an hour chat about something that I like. So thank you for having me.
Perfect, absolutely brilliant. Yeah, I think it's one of my new favorite segments. This we obviously done it for the Thought Bubble, the Road to Thought Bubble stuff, but I think being able just to pick whatever we love and just talking about it, I think and just like, it's not even a case of educating or anything like that. That's not what it's about. It's just like to give people the opportunity to see something they might not know about, and to get them to go and read the comics. That's ultimately what it's all about. So good job, Tom. I'm just going to check on the chat here. We've got Comic Market UK in the chat. How's it going, my friend? Guys, if you're not following Comic Market UK on Whatnot, you should definitely do that. He is one of my go-to sellers on Whatnot. The books and the quality that he offers are absolutely fantastic. So please, he is on Whatnot. Go and give him a follow. Edvic loves your work, Tom. Cheers, Tom. Love it. GP saying absolutely well done, mate. Connie's in it. Connie's missed everything. Oh no, Connie, you missed it. You're going to have to watch the rewind. Oh, what's Tom doing? Is Tom like taking it? Everybody smile. No idea what was going on there. Hydra saying great stream. We're not finished yet, guys. We're not finished yet. We've still got my pickups, which is probably going to be half an hour.
Yeah, strap in for another hour, guys.
Strap in, guys. We've got a long way to go, and then obviously we've still got the vote going on, guys. So if you haven't voted for your favorite cover, please make sure you do so, because we will be announcing that in due course. Connie is sorry that she's late. She was out catching up with some friends. Wait, whoa. Nobody else.
Sorry, we're not priority.
In the comic
Connie?
community is allowed to have a social life. I was saying this to Peter Triple G. He's off to the cinema on Friday. Like, listen, come on, guys. If we don't have a social life, nobody else is allowed to have one. That right, Tom?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm not going out at all.
Ever. So Connie's going to watch the rewind, and I would recommend guys to do that. If you maybe missed us, you're busy tonight, please watch the rewind and leave us a little cheeky comment. That would be amazing. Martin is saying, excellent, Tom. Learned a load about a brilliant artist. Fantastic.
Thank you, mate. That's what I did it for. Top
work from Fuzzy. You're very welcome, sir. You're very welcome. Okay, I did mention that this is the pickups part before we reveal who the winner is of Color Cover. Tom, do you have any pickups, or is it all me?
I do. I've got some pickups. I'm going to pick this up and I'm going to put it back down again.
Awesome. I love it. How rude. So, guys, of course I have pickups. Now, I don't have a huge amount, but it's quality over quantity, I'd like to think. So, first up is a little cheeky toy.
Oh, so, nice. Imagine if you were listening to this show and not watching it. I've got a little toy. Little toy.
Let me show you my little Boba Fett.
Cheeky little toy.
Let me show you my little Boba Fett. Okay. So this is a fairly newly released Boba Fett.
Be careful, mate. The boss is here. He's just messaged.
Oh.
He's watching on the train home.
What's he saying? Well. No, I won't do it justice. You do it in his accent. Go on.
I can't do it. Oh, what? Well, I'm watching you two on the train home. Not a bad show, lads.
In it? Yeah. Sorry for that. That was disgraceful. But anyway, back to me. Topic. So this is the artist edition Boba Fett. And this the artwork on this is from Cam Kennedy. So Cam Kennedy is renowned for his work not only on Star Wars, but probably most famously for 2000 AD. So I had to get this for my collection, and it will not be coming out of its plastic prison, mainly because I bought it for the artwork, which I think is absolutely fantastic. So
like
that
that.
was
Cool.
that was one of the pickups. Speaking of 2000 AD, I picked up this book, Boland Strips. So this is a book of comic strips that Brian Boland has done. I won't open this up because some of these are not work safe. Let's just say. So I will leave it to your imagination, but I'm a huge Brian Boland fan. He's one of my favorite artists, and I believe he was at London Comic Con recently at the weekend. I might have made that up. I'm sure I've seen it somewhere online, but
Oi, oi.
here he is.
Here he is.
Can I just tell him to go?
Here he comes to wreck the day.
Oh, there he is. Hi, Charles.
Hi, darling.
Can you hear us?
I'm not sure how my signal is going. Can't hear him.
It's like he's already been on the show the entire time.
It's the way that he is before we go live every Thursday because he has technical difficulties. But it's actually he's better quality now than he is then.
Yeah, that was a good quality, Charlie.
Nice to see you, Charlie. Bye, Charlie.
Bye, Charlie.
So yeah, Brian Boland, one of my favorite artists. So I picked up this book, Boland Strips. I got a little AOK from a certain Tom, your favorite PT. So Tom knows that I am a Michael Turner fan. Tom also knows juxtaposed is that I'm not a massive Superman fan. So it was like I didn't even realize who it was in the cover. Then I just seen it was Superman. I was like, right, okay, who's taking it? And I went, oh, it's a Michael Turner cover. Thank you. So first one is Superman issue number 625. This is from 2004, I believe. Little sketch from Michael Turner. And the next one is Superman Action Comics 812. And again, this was released at the same time as that one. I think it's 2004.
So I've got the color version of that cover, and it's just stunning. It's one of my favorite Turner pieces. And unfortunately, God bless his soul, I think he passed away probably within 12 months of doing that book.
No, definitely a massive loss to the comic community. But yeah, Michael Turner, that might be a creator that I do a spotlight on. I think that would be good.
Yeah,
unless you've already picked that, Tom. Have you picked it?
No. I don't think I've ticked him, to be fair.
Last but not least, guys, it's not a pickup show without me showing a little bit of Jock. That's Jock, okay?
So, it's not a pickup show without me showing my little toy.
Yeah, listen, my favorite, the number one in my heart, Jock. So I picked this up on the Evil Bay. This is Noctera issue number 1. This is a Comic Vault live edition.
I did not know he did a cover for Noctera. That is cool.
So this is very limited. Now, I believe that there was only like 250 of these produced.
Very cool.
So I picked this up for a fantastic price, and I'm very, very, very happy with it. And it is cool. And the Noctera's in foil as well. That doesn't really do it justice, but
I know you probably won't. But I'd really like to see that cracked and signed by both of them at Thought Bubble this year.
I'll do it.
And then re-slabbed.
I'll do it. I don't mind. I'll crack it now.
Cool. I know you'd probably lose.
I shouldn't do that because I did that and I could feel it shaking inside. That's not a good sign. I'm
sure you'd lose the 9.8. It'd probably go down to a 9.6, but it would be worth it for their 2 signatures.
Hey. It's better. What is it? No grade is better than, or something's better than no grade. Low grade is better than
low grade is better than no grade.
That's exactly it. So yeah, that's my pickups, guys. I'm just going to check on that. There we go. So Batdan is saying, "Oh my God, did you guys see the Boland Whatnot show? I missed it. I missed it, unfortunately. But I've been missing a lot of shows over the last couple of weeks because I've started my new job and stuff. So it's been just putting the blinders on and the blinkers on and just focusing. So yeah, unfortunately I missed it.
Pinpoint focus, mate.
Exactly. Yeah. And Martin saying that he couldn't afford any of his stuff. I'm sure that would be the case. It's especially how many viewers, guys, did that get? Like, I would imagine you had no chance of picking anything up for a decent price. But yeah, I'm sad I missed that. What have we got next, Tom? Oh yes.
Oh,
we
let's find out
have
who the winner chicken dinner is.
winner chicken dinner. Shall we have a little a goosey gander, as they say? Oh, hold on, add to stream. Let's see. Okay, so the scores and the doors.
Scores on the doors.
In last place is the captain of the ship, the geezer.
I will
in it.
go down with this ship. I won't surrender.
Wow, that was rough. So it was.
I'm sorry.
A little bit.
Now I hear what people hear when I'm in the gym and I'm singing along.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah,
Shit.
and nobody will say anything to you because they just see you. I was going to say pumping iron, but that's probably painting a bad picture. Anyway, so Charlie got 26% of the vote with his John Jang cover. No, wait a minute, this must be wrong. I got 35% of the vote with my Nathan Zerde cover, and the winner, 37% with his Ivan Reese cover, is Tom. Tom, can we just have a bit of a recount here, just to make sure that we had 45 votes. So thank you.
How many people are in the chat? 10.
Thank you to Mr. Tom, Mrs. Tom, Granny Tom, Granda Tom.
My mom. I'd like to thank my mom, my
All the
grandma,
Toms.
my grandma's grandma, my mom's grandma's grandma, my
Exactly,
mom's grandma.
So well done, Tom. You're catching up. In fairness, it was a fantastic cover. So in fairness, yeah, Leon's saying here that it was a fleeting cameo appearance. Yeah, it was indeed. It was indeed. And let me see. At least it was closer. Yeah. It was a good pick. EBZ is saying that's Tom's botnet doing some overtime in there. I normally get the blame for that, but I can't multitask. I can't host and or co-host, as I should say, and do the rest.
I wish I was clever enough to know what botnet is.
Well, I'll explain after. And Charlie can't be here, but you can see that this is a rig, and someone sent help.
No, this is a rig.
No, whoa, yeah, that's true. And Martin saying good win, Tom. So congratulations, Tom. A nice little win there. Oh yeah, we should do the social, shouldn't we?
We should.
So if you really want to, obviously he wasn't on the show today, and probably I don't know. Me and Tom's going to have a discussion to see if he's allowed back. To be honest with you, you can go check out Instagram.com/GeekyGuyComics and Twitter.com/GeekyGuyComics for all your Charlie goodness. If you want to go and see some stuff that I put up on Instagram, you can follow me at perpetual.comics, and on Twitter it's perpetual comics, all one word. And Tom, where did they find your good self?
If you want to find out about me and my geekiness, you can find me on Not Quite Mint at Instagram. Or if you want to get a little bit of fitness information or any information about personal training, you can follow me on Instagram.com, TomMalinPT. I'm here for all your needs, guys. I can help you with your cosplay and all sorts.
All your needs, guys. All your needs. We also have a little cheeky Instagram and Twitter account for Killer Comic Show itself. We're slowly building up the followers on Instagram. So, guys, if you haven't went and followed us there, please do so and share it with everybody. And try to build up the followers there. So it's Instagram.com/The Killer Comic Show. And on Twitter, it's Killer Comic Show. We're also on that. What's that new thing called?
Threads.
Threads, I think it is. I don't get it. I don't think I've looked at it since I joined it. I think it was just a little bit of FOMO, but there you have it. If you want to go in there, you can find us there as well. We've got a show next week, all going well. These are our sneak peeks. So you can go as of maybe tonight or tomorrow, go into your community tab on the YouTube channel, and you can vote for whatever book you want us to read and review. So first up, we have Sirens of the City issue number 1. I can't even remember who picked these. Tom, was that
Me.
your pick or was that? Yeah,
I'm Sirens of the City. Yeah, so I was excited about this one because it's a brand new number 1. It's from Boom. I think it was Andy's one of your indie picks a few weeks back. And I think we've discussed it via the group chat, and it's just one of those books that I would really like to read for the show. However, there is another book in this group of 3 that I think we should. And although I don't want to pressure anyone
no pressure
into picking a book, but last week You did 73% on one particular book. How about we try and get more than or 100% votes for Fish Flies?
No, listen, wait a minute. No pressure. Like, I'm sure Fish Flies is fantastic, but for anybody who's been reading issue number 1 and 2 of Something Epic by Simone Kudransky, this is my book that I picked. I think this is epic. Pardon the pun. But this is going to be a tough.
Something Epic.
I think it is Something Epic, and you'll only find out how epic it is if you vote for Something Epic for us to review. But last and certainly not least is Fish Flies by Jeff Lemire, issue number 1. I know there's been a few people in the chat that have already read this, and Tom, you've read it and you're saying good things about it. So that's your choice. You've got Silence of the City, Something Epic, and Fish Flies, issue number 1. The vote should be up in the community tab at some point, whether it be tonight or tomorrow. Might already be there. I'm not entirely sure. But make sure that you go and give it a vote. That's our show for tonight. I don't think it was too much of a car crash, given that the captain of the ship wasn't steering. So thank you so much to everybody who joined us in the chat live. Thanks to everybody who's going to take the time to watch us in the rewind. Please make sure that you hit that thumbs up, give us a sub if you so wish and like the content, and also leave a little comment. Even if you've watched it live, just leave a comment, even if it's just one word, because it will tickle the algorithm, and apparently that's good. So, Tom, did you have a good show?
I did, mate. Can I just say a massive thank you to you for running the ship tonight? You've done a fantastic job. I know we've spoken about it before, about how it's quite difficult to juggle everything, do the chat and the slides and talk and this and that. I just want to say I think you've done a fantastic job.
Thank you,
so
mate.
I take my proverbial hat off to you, and I'd like to thank everyone in the chat for supporting us both today, going through this without the captain of the ship. But to you especially, considering the fact that you literally finished work an hour before we started. So thank you, mate. Thank you for doing
Listen,
this.
I do appreciate that. I do appreciate that. I think it goes to say that the three of us are a team, and when one can't make it, we sort of, we fill in and do what we do. But I think the moral of the story is for this show is don't let anxiety win. Anxiety does not win. I suffer from horrible anxiety and I panic attacks. But see, whenever you just put your mind to it, you can absolutely do anything, guys. And that is the moral of this show.
It's about the journey.
It's about the journey.
Write your own narrative.
Listen, guys, thank you so much. Tom, what do we say?
Stay safe, stay sexy, or stay safe, stay geek.
#stay geek. See you later, guys. Cheers, guys.